Hello everyone. Today's subject is chemistry and the first chapter, the language of chemistry, class 9 for all CBSE and ICSE boards. So first we'll be knowing what are symbols. Symbols are the shorthand abbreviation of an element. That means shorthand abbreviation of an element. Like suppose you're writing something, and every time you have to write hydrogen, and again hydrogen, then nitrogen. It consumes a lot of time. But what do symbols do? Symbols are for hydrogen we know that it is H. And again you can write H and then nitrogen for N. So the shorthand, we know that H stands for hydrogen and nitrogen stands for N. So these are the symbols of hydrogen, nitrogen and many more. So symbols play an important role. It consumes our time. What do symbols represent? Symbols represent the qualitative and the quantitative expression of an element. Like a symbol should contain both the quality and the quantity so that it should be represented equally. Now, John Dalton first suggested symbols. John Dalton on the year 1807 first suggested that the symbols should be there for representing an element. He drawn some figure like this one as hydrogen, this one as oxygen, this one as not nitrogen, so this one is sulfur, and this one as nitrogen. He drawed some figure like this. Like if you're writing a answer and you're drawing, instead of representing the element as by their names, you write oxygen. Oxygen. Suppose we're writing oxygen is needed for breathing. Instead of writing oxygen as in words, we'll be using like this: oxygen is needed for breathing. If we draw this, we'll be knowing that, oh yes, it is oxygen. But it created a lot of sudden problems that could not represent all the elements. Now for this, the next scientist, named as Berzelius, next scientist known as Berzelius, suggested that there should be names, there should be the shorthand, like for hydrogen H, the first letter or initial, or the first or second letter initial should be there for representing the elements. The symbol should be like that. It's on year 1814. We constitute it like the first one should be all the elements should all the symbols of the elements should be their first letter initial. Like for suppose oxygen is represented as O. Carbon is represented as C. The first letter. See, the first letter is O. Here O. C, C. Now, the next is nitrogen. The first letter is N, so it will be N. But if we see sulfur, SULPHUR, sulfur, and sodium, both contains S as the first letter initial. So if you write S as both in cases, which one will be knowing that which one is sulfur and which one is sodium? So what Berzelius did, that the elements which has the same letter initial, the first letter initial, will be starting their name as the first two letters. Like what's the definition? The initial letter along with the first letter will be taken as symbol. Like for silicon, it also contains S first, but its symbol is Si. Another example, calcium. It also contains C first, but C we know stands for carbon. Then what will calcium stands for? Calcium will be standing for Ca. Constitutes both first letter initial. Now, another thing that was suggested by Berzelius, that all the first letter of the symbol will be of capital letter. Next, the first letter, all the first letter. You notice first. If you go through the purity table, you will be noticing that all the letters, all the symbols have the first letter as capital letters. Next, if you take the metal gold, the element or the metal gold, print as gold. What's the symbol of gold? do we know? It's autumn. But gold stands for G. It should be either G or in case GO. But how it's autumn? Let's talk about the other name, copper. It should be either C or CO. That's what we know. But it's not that. It's cuprum. Wow. Why? It shouldn't be. Next is iron. Iron should be either I or IR. But it's ferrum. I has no connection with F. Then how about from iron to ferrum? This is because gold, copper, iron and many more other like mercury and aluminium, sulfur is taken from their Latin names like gold has aurum, copper has cuprum, iron has ferrum, mercury has hydrogen, potassium has cadmium, silver has argentum, lead has plumbum, sodium has natrium. These are some of the examples. This was the fourth rule given by the scientist Berzelius. Now, this much for today. We'll be knowing about more in the next class. Please like, share and comment and view the most time.